Okay, so our speaker tonight is Nathaniel Bibby from Bibby Consulting Group. And Nathaniel will be talking to us about LinkedIn. He does a lot of LinkedIn training for business professionals. So thank you, Nathaniel.
My pleasure. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure to be here. I started my career in Phuket, Thailand. Has anyone been to Phuket at all? Yeah, a few of you?
I want to go.
Yeah. It's a lovely place to visit, but Phuket's like, what am I funny? Smart woman.
You must bring your wife.
It's interesting because like it's only 4 months of the year where there's foreigners on the island, and I was selling real estate to foreigners, and I started in the middle of low season. It was raining outside, and there's just no foreigners on the island. So I was sitting there, and I got a laptop in front of me. So I learned about online marketing. There was no social media, no LinkedIn back then, 13 years ago. So I learned about Google, right? Search engine optimization, and I learned how to get a website to the top of Google using techniques which, if you use today, would probably get you blacklisted or kicked off of Google. So it was very successful. We're getting 10 leads a day. We sold out my dad's project within a year. It was 93 villas, and I got headhunted by a company in Hong Kong. Google started becoming less effective in terms of the techniques I was using, and so we started Google AdWords. Well, I started Google AdWords. I learned about this advertising platform. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Google advertising, but the way it works is every time somebody clicks on your ad, you get billed, and you used to get billed about 50 cents. Now you get billed about $50. If you're in the real estate industry. So back then it was very effective. Now it's not. So normally the way that works with marketing is as soon as like things are working and slowly businesses start to pour money into the platform, it becomes more competitive and therefore less effective. And so Google AdWords is still a great way to market, but it's expensive, it's very expensive. And so when social media came about, I was not exactly sure how I was going to use it to generate business, because I'm really into marketing and metrics and return on investment, and I couldn't see how like posting a picture of what I had for breakfast and like what was I going to do, spend all my time on social media networking with people and never actually have time to see anyone. So when I came across LinkedIn, I decided that it was the right platform for me to focus on, and I set up a business 5 years ago that specializes in LinkedIn training and LinkedIn marketing, and that's all we do. And so we generate leads, we run content marketing campaigns for all different types of businesses. The industry which I've specialized in the most has been financial services, and when I say that, I mean like accounting, and also mortgage brokers and financial planners and those types of businesses, because I've found that like the alternative online is very expensive. Most of the time you're competing with banks who've got quite a big war chest, and it's very effective to connect like a network. And if you ask most financial planners or accountants or mortgage brokers how they get their business, normally they say word of mouth or referrals, and LinkedIn is really just leveraging all of that, because the way that the LinkedIn search engine works, like if you're looking for an accountant, if I search for accountant on LinkedIn, the first people that I will see in the search results are the people that I'm already connected to. So your first degree network, and then the people I will see below that are your second degree connections, which means they have somebody in common as a connection with you. So like 20 years ago you might call up a mate and say, hey, do you know any good accountants? Right? Whereas now you can kind of see on LinkedIn if you know any already or if there's any in your network. And so that's why it's a bit more powerful than like looking on Google, where you're just seeing advertising and it's a bit impersonal. Like I think that this is common, like for any social media platform. The reason that we're all on there is because we saw our friends join. Like we were on Facebook and we resisted and we didn't want to join, and then eventually we caved and we signed up, and we started using it. I think it's the same with LinkedIn. It was started as a recruitment platform, like for people to put their CV up there and network, and now there's more sales and marketers on there than there are people that are looking for, not people looking for jobs, but people that are recruiting. So they've changed all their products around and everything. Was it 2 years ago they were fined $12 million US for the way that they've built their database so fast, LinkedIn were, which is not a big sum to pay for a $500 million strong database. They sold their company to Microsoft for $26.2 billion, right? But what they did is, like when you sign up, you use your email address and it says, do you want to sync up your email address to LinkedIn? And most people say yes. And so it just invites everybody saying, hey, I joined LinkedIn, come join, until they sign up. And that's how they built their database so quick. And so most of us are on there because we got one of those emails, right? Google is the most popular search engine, as we all know. And normally, your LinkedIn profile will show up at the top of the search results when people, are looking for who you are and learning a bit about what you do. I know it was the case with you, Alex. So if you are showing up at the top of the search results, then you want to control what people are seeing, and like the CV, if you're communicating with a customer, could potentially be the most boring piece of content I think you can share with them. You want to have it in customer-centric language, like make it like a personalized website so that people can understand what it is you do and why and all that kind of stuff. The interesting thing is, like, if you put your job title as your headline on LinkedIn, say it's business development manager or account director or even CEO, the only people that are going to search for a phrase like that are either people that are looking for a job or looking to recruit somebody or trying to sell you something. Like, it's not like your customers are going to necessarily search for those sort of keywords, right? And so what I do for my clients is set the profile up so that it tracks visitors who are potential clients, converts those visitors into potential leads, build credibility, that kind of thing. And normally, your LinkedIn profile will show up at the top of the search results when people, are looking for who you are and learning a bit about what you do. I know it was the case with you, Alex. So if you are showing up at the top of the search results, then you want to control what people are seeing, and like the CV, if you're communicating with a customer, could potentially be the most boring piece of content I think you can share with them. You want to have it in customer-centric language, like make it like a personalized website so that people can understand what it is you do and why and all that kind of stuff. If it's not showing up at the top of the search results, then it probably just needs to be optimized and set up correctly. With all of these social media sites and with Google, like, they all have the same objective. They just want to give their users a good experience so that they can keep people on their site, make money from advertising, all that kind of stuff. So if you fill out your profile so it's complete, then you've given LinkedIn what it wants. It's more likely to give you more exposure. Out of the people in the room, is there anybody that doesn't have a LinkedIn profile? Just curious. Oh, really? I was surprised, yeah.
I don't post anything.
I did get invites.
Yeah, I get invites too.
In the past I did, not so much now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Can you get an invite if you don't have a LinkedIn account?
Yeah.
So how do you, when you accept, do you automatically?
Then you have one, yeah.
Then once you accept, you've got a LinkedIn account.
Yeah, that's right. And so if you've got a LinkedIn account and you haven't touched it, it's probably got like less than 100 connections. There's no picture, and it's probably not doing any favors. You need to go in there and like upgrade it and make sure you start building your network and so on. It's interesting, like not everyone's not looking to grow their business. Not everyone's looking for more clients, but when we do run marketing campaigns for clients, the difference between when they have like less than 500 connections in the conversion rates and when they have more than 500, because when you have more than 500, it says 500 plus on your profile, and you don't know if they've got 500 or 2,000, but a lot more people will like connect with you or send connection requests when you have more, because there's this massive herd mentality. Exactly, like crowds follow crowds. It's exactly like primary school, right? You want to hang out with the popular kids and all that sort of stuff. But if you are looking to grow your business, it's important. But if you're not, it doesn't really matter. But like, can anyone guess? I'm just curious to see if anyone can guess the number of people that are on LinkedIn in Australia, the number of members that they have, or even worldwide.
In the millions?
Sorry?
In the millions?
It's certainly in the millions, yeah. 20 million? No, not that many. There's only 23 in Australia, isn't it?
23.
Yeah. No, so there's almost 8 million in Australia now. So
How many of those 8 million know they're on there?
that's a good question. Yeah. Look, a lot of them, they'll know they're on there, but whether they're active or not, 2 years ago I would have said about 20% of them are active. Now I'd say it's closer to 50%.
So how does LinkedIn make its money then?
Yeah, through advertising, and paid upgrades. So you get asked if you want to upgrade to a premium account. And so it's a freemium model where you have a free account, you pay to upgrade it, and for a recruiter, it makes a lot of sense because you can message people you don't know, and like, you know, you can see more people and all that kind of stuff. But for salespeople and marketers, they've like had to adapt because they actually didn't anticipate that they would be a market at all. And to message somebody that you don't know with a paid message, to approach them as if they were to be a prospect, you get like a 2%, 3% conversion rate, which is very similar to email marketing, right? Because they can see that it's a paid message and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you just connect with them and send them a message, it's more like 15%. So it doesn't actually make any sense. They're going to have to adapt their model even further, I think, which means that it won't be as easy to connect with people you don't know. I think that's what we're going to see in the next year or so. So we've got an opportunity at the moment to grow our networks reasonably quickly. And the reason that LinkedIn is effective for marketing or lead generation is a lot of people think it's because you can find people and, you know, like it's like a database and, you know, you can just scattergun market to everyone. But the reason it's so effective is most of the time you're not actually reaching out to everyone, you're reaching out to people who know somebody that you do. So it's almost like an implied referral. When I was selling property in Phuket, after I'd sell a villa, I always used to say to the buyer, can they think of 2 or 3 other people that might be interested in buying a villa in Phuket, and get referrals that way. Whereas like what I do now with a client is if the campaign's going well, then I have a look at their connections and pick out 2 or 3 ideal prospects and say, could you introduce me to these guys? So it's a lot more targeted because we've got visibility over, you know, clients' networks. So that being said, with the connections side of things, like not being as easy to connect with people, the way that marketing is moving is much towards content marketing. So it could be video, could be long form article content, which traditionally is done very well on LinkedIn, or short form written updates as well, seem to do well with pictures and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of business professionals and entrepreneurs and marketers that are dabbling in content marketing at the moment, but very few are doing it properly. Very few are actually getting results because there's just not delivering, you know, the value, I guess. So they're probably wondering, like, where do you start? What should you be doing on LinkedIn? And it does come back to your objectives. Like at the end of the day, if you're going to be on there, like, you should have a profile that does your brand justice. I think that's the most important thing. And then, you know, whether or not you use it for lead generation or content marketing, just really comes back to, you know, whether or not that it fits in with your objectives.